Are you scared? I am you.
Hello, Abnormal Investigations. How's everybody doing tonight? We made it in, and I've seen a lot of you like the new music that we came into, so What do y'all think about that, Tyler? Did you like that? I seen you and Dawn was discussing it. Hey, Larry Fisher, Silver Bullets, moderating Belinda Kruger Dana affliction. We got I think I said Belinda. Michelle McGuire's in the house. I call her Michelle Mario McGuire. I've been giving her a hard time tonight. Hello, Emmy Tongue. How are you tonight? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Hello, Chester. How are you tonight? Hello, Dana. Ortega's in the house tonight. Good to see you, Dana. See a lot of familiar faces in here. It's good to see everybody. Romans 116's in the house, and she likes the music. There's OCST's in the house. They're also going to be joining us tonight, guys. They're going to be co-hosting with us on this Werewolf breakdown that we never got to get to. So I'm excited for that one. Hello, Nancy Ponder. Good to see you tonight. Everybody's starting to come on in. I tell you what, Abnormal Investigations, Dana Ortega, is on the rise again for sure, guys. We're coming back to where we was from, getting a whole lot of new people, guys. Our numbers have advanced quite nicely. YouTube sent me a thing today congratulating me on the rise of the channel and with our algorithm and everything. So I'm going to pass that on to you guys because I can't do it without you guys. You guys are just as much of a part of it. And we are on the comeback. So thank you all very much for your support. And thank you for being there with me. It really means a lot to me. It really does. Hey, Mindy Weeks, how you doing? Going to let everybody kind of filter on in here. And don't forget, if you need anything done on your roof with all these storms, guys, there is a lot of storms out there right now. Get a hold of Larry Fisher. I cannot get his card to come up right now for some reason, but if you need any information from Larry, you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of Jesse, or you can also get a hold of Larry. He's in the chat right now, and he can help you do just about anything that you need to do, and he has some of the best crews around, no doubt. Let me see if Jesse has made it backstage. Not yet. We're waiting on Jesse to come in. So, has everybody been able to miss the storms that's been rolling through? And prayers for all those that were in the path of the storms. That was terrible. We've got our severe storms coming tonight, tomorrow, and I think even the next day. We're going to have to dodge them. I got Logan walking through the house trying to get my attention. I don't know what he's up to. He's getting his backpack ready in case we have to make a dash to the storm shelter. He has his little backpack that he likes to bring with him. So tonight, guys, we're going to have the breakdown of the Werewolf breakdown that we didn't get to the other night. So that should be pretty interesting. I'm kind of excited about that. Still waiting on Jesse. I don't know. Maybe the old bad wolf got her. Or CRJ might have got her. You never know. We have to watch out for her. She might have snuck up there to Wisconsin and astral projected and got her. Oh, man. It's good to see everybody in the chat, though. AI Mod is in the chat tonight. Good to see you, AI Mod. Looks like Jessie just made her way to the backstage and want to let her get her ear stuff on and clean her ears out and finish picking her nose before we let her come on the show. Just give me the thumbs up whenever you're ready or whenever you get it, and I'll bring you on. All right, I got the thumbs up. Yeah, let's bring her onto the stage. If we can figure this out. There we go.
Hello. Yeah, I'm late for once. How's that?
Yeah, I figured something was going on. I could hear you snoring plumb down here. I didn't know if I was going to be able to wake you up.
Well,
I thought I was going to.
I've been working out in the yard and working in the house the last 3 days, so yeah, it kind of caught up to me. I have an echo.
If y'all saw me laughing earlier for no reason, actually, what I was laughing at is Logan's packing his backpack for the storm shelter in case we have to go. He just put a 2-liter thing of pop in there, so he's getting his backpack ready.
Hey, necessities, you know.
Next, he'll be loading up the chocolate milk.
I hear myself. There's an echo.
I don't hear it.
I hear it.
It's your fault. Does anybody hear an echo? Is there an echo other than with Jesse?
If nobody else hears the echo, then I'm good.
They're saying yes.
In a cave.
Oh, Dawn Moore says no. Michelle says no.
Oh, okay.
Everything's safe in this.
Oh, Roman
says yes. Amy says no. No, not here. Sharon Guy says.
See, I don't know. I can hear myself afterwards.
I don't hear it, so I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to change it. So I think we may just have to live with it.
Okay.
As long as it ain't real bad. Is it okay with everybody?
Yeah. I'm echoing, but not Mike.
It's probably Jerome.
It's not Jerome.
I think it's probably Jerome.
I'm not on anything.
So we'll hurry up so we can hurry up. Oh my God, there's that werewolf dog. I'm thinking about, I wonder what dog tastes like. I'm going to hurry up and go through this so I can hurry up and get OCST on here so we can get into this breakdown. And I want to visit with them about some things. Logan, would you go up there and take that dog and just toss her outside and let her play in the rain? If you want to, you can go ahead and do your prayer list, and we want to include everybody that was in the path of these storms or will be in the path of these storms, guys. Prayers with you guys.
Yes. And again, continued prayers for Connie. Good news, Connie is awake, but she still needs continued prayers for healing and health. So that is very good news. Prayers for Letitia and Barton. Prayers for Lisa and Sister Carolyn. Qbot, Randy, Lindsay, and Tony Merkel. And that is who I have right now. So prayers for them, everybody.
All right, guys, we got prayers for them. I have dropped some Patreon videos, and I also dropped a Patreon video today for Wide Open Adventures. For all of you that are interested, it's probably a video you will never forget. I also want to make mention, tomorrow night, for the first time, guys, we have the 401 Files joining us. They're going to be on the show live, so it should be a really fun night. I've never had him on before, but he's got a lot of, it sounds like, very awesome encounters that he has dealt with. So we will have the 401 Files on tomorrow night, guys. Come and join us. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Harold in for this part because I want his input. When you want a professional input, I try to bring the men in here when I get serious. No. Let me go ahead and try to get myself in trouble and get Harold brought in here. There we go.
Hello.
How you doing, Harold?
All right.
You want to be in trouble, huh?
I knew that was coming. I knew I knew Christy would get me.
Even though I was looking at my phone, I still can hear you.
She don't miss a thing.
I try not to anyway.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Double echo.
So did you catch? Do what?
Oh, I was reading what Sabrina just said.
That means everybody just gets to hear us twice. See, we have such good information, we repeat it.
Yep.
Lord.
Keep your ears peeled. You might be able to catch up.
Yeah. So did you see any? So did you see anything the other night when you went out, Harold, after the show? Was there anything out there that the dog alerted to?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and everybody's gonna find out on Wednesday. I'm not going to
Awesome.
release the video till we have our show, and I'm gonna play it during the show.
So everybody needs to go over and check
Yep.
that out.
Yeah, it's like a 6-minute video.
Mike, you have a bad echo.
I have an echo now.
We all
No,
do.
we all have an echo. Yeah.
Okay, let's try something. Hold on. Let me get rid of my earpiece. Hold on. Are we better now?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
we
Now
shall-
there's an echo. And there's static.
It's worse.
I'm trying something. Maybe. Are we still echoing?
Yes, we're echoing.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Tyler says he hears ocean sound.
What about now?
Usually comes from us.
Oh, yeah.
Jim says put the headphones back on.
Okay, let's try the headphones. Still an echo?
If there's not an echo,
I don't hear one now.
there is a soft echo. What
Yeah,
I'm thinking is
soft.
you're actually catching our sound back through your headset somehow.
Yeah.
Still an echo?
That depends on us. Because, yeah, it's not catching.
It's not.
You.
There is one, but it's slight.
So the sound isn't completely coming through your headset. It's coming through something else, too, and it's catching it in your headset. That's what my guess is.
Yeah, because I don't hear any of it here.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's barely noticeable.
Yeah, everybody says it's not that noticeable. It's better. But
Better?
you're not echoing. It's just us. So
Yeah.
thanks,
That's
Tim.
weird.
It's Blame Just Day. Sure.
Good evening, Scott Lee. Good to see you. Glad to have you here with us.
Let's just blame it
That
on the
is
weather.
strange.
There we go.
Good idea. Good idea.
Yep.
It's the weather's fault.
It's the weather.
There we go.
So, there was something else I was going to say. Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to talk to y'all about. And I think y'all are going to find this very, very interesting. The gentleman that goes through my photos and videos that has a bigger background in it than any of us could probably ever imagine sent me a report on what he's seen at my vehicle. And I think I sent it to Jesse. Were you able to read that?
Sure.
Or did you
No.
fall asleep? Okay. All right.
Dang it.
The the gentleman that goes through my videos, he took a photograph of the thing. It was at the vehicle that everybody was talking about, and he, for a living and everything else, can't go into, that was his job.
Mm-hmm.
And he broke it down, brought it up, used his computer, I guess you would call his software. And he said that what he's looking at, if he were to look at it at first, when he first seen it, he said that he felt like it was very probable that it was a human. He said, but then after he was able to get it on his computer and enhancements and filters and everything that he does, he said there's no way. And the reason is the legs. He said the legs are not human.
Wow.
The front legs, as he called it, are also off, he said. They're not correct. I'm assuming he's talking about length and the paws, because there was paws. He said, definitely was paws. But yeah, he went through it. He's gonna. I think he's gonna do some more work with it. I don't have any way to bring that up right now, or I would actually read his report. I think I sent it to Jessie if she wants to read it, a little bit of it. Do you have that where you're able to?
Yeah, I found it. It says if it wasn't for the front legs, I would say that it was a human in a costume. However, I think this is what people are calling a dog man. I see similar creatures standing beside, almost touching, a big foot. It was more feline in appearance, looked like a lion cub. Maybe what the elders told you about them being the same species is true. The one in the photo looks primarily canine, but some features don't add up. The front legs are shorter than the back, and the canines, they're the same length. If there's an elbow in the front leg, it's not visible. The left rear hip is attached more like a human's. The lower leg is apparently folded rearward, not forward, like a canine. The small, deep set eyes and narrow bridge of the mouth are humanish, but I couldn't do much with the mouth because of the bright light. I'm assuming he's talking about the light from the vehicle shining on it. Yeah. And he said he was going to look at some more this week.
Wow.
And then Vicky says, "Is there more than one creature?" I'm guessing there is, Vicky. A lot of people are saying that they're seeing more than one thing in that video. I never saw two things. I don't know. I think some people saw two things.
I still think it was in the middle of changing shape. Is why.
Yeah, because
it's not so conformed. It's different in different parts of the body.
And it was never the same. I mean, even frame by frame, it's changed, even just that fast. So imagine if you was outside and you encountered something like that. If it can change that fast in between frames, imagine what it does in real time.
Yeah.
I received an email today. I don't know if she's in the chat. I can't see chat real well tonight because I'm using my iPad again, so I'm not ignoring anybody. I'll probably just call you out if I see you in your question. I'll throw as many up as I can, but it's hard to do on an iPad, but I'll do my best. I had a person send me an email today, and they said that they had looked at the face that I said I seen, and I guess they found something pretty wild. They're supposed to be sending it to me. So Sabrina, if she's in the chat, I look forward to seeing that. She said she was able to see the face.
She said there's more inside or on the chat.
So I guess I'm going boots on the ground Friday if the weather, holds out. Do you all want me to go back to that spot, or do you want me to go somewhere new? I mean,
depends on how much rain you get.
Yeah, I mean, a part of me wants to go back there.
I would go back there if it doesn't really rain a whole lot. But if it does rain a whole lot, that area is probably going to be underwater pretty good.
Yeah, it will. It'll be pretty dark.
And you definitely don't want to get trapped out there.
Yeah, I'd have to have Dana or Larry come and save me. I need more than a roof, Larry. I need a new change of clothes. But yeah, I would hate to. Can you imagine getting lost out there?
Yeah, I'd be packing an inflatable raft.
Dana says to get someone to go with you. Dana Affliction says get someone to go with you.
You know, that would be ideal. I just can't find anybody around here that is really that excited about going out there and looking
Damn,
for
if we live
things. And
closer.
Yeah.
I know.
If we were closer than 3.5 hours.
Oh, 3.5 hours?
And
That's not that far. Come on.
I might even do something a little different Friday night. I might strobe the sky. If it's a dead night, we might strobe the sky and see if that does anything.
Huh. Okay, sounds good, Sabrina.
So evidently, I think she's going to send some things to Jesse that maybe Jesse can share.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh, okay. Right
You know
now?
how to do that on here?
Yeah. Is she
I'm
emailing
assuming
them
that's
to
what
me
she's
or
doing.
messaging them to me? That would be
I'm not
that
sure.
is the question.
I don't have no idea. I don't know. But yeah, he said he definitely is under the impression of what was at my vehicle was not human. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of something morphing, that's a little tidbit for Wednesday. What I caught on camera. Yeah. It's one of those. Is it there? Oh wait, yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And CRJ was in the house too, right? She wasn't out there morphing or anything.
Right.
I was in my bedroom. I didn't go out there. And then after what we saw, I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah.
I
I actually caught it before I started the live. So during the live, you can hear me saying that I caught something before I started the live. So,
I have an old saying that, it's all fun and games until you have that encounter.
Well, after your was it breakdown or whatever it was that night? I we do so many of these. My days run into each other, and I've had a long day today. So
my video breakdown or my mental breakdown.
I wouldn't have said that, your video breakdown.
Okay.
He went outside to have a cigarette, and he said it was really dark and really just still, and there wasn't much going on. And then Cammy had mentioned that the dog had pointed earlier that night and all that stuff, so that's what got him to go or to get going on it. The thing is that it was super dark that night, but all you could hear in his live was the coyotes. I mean, and they were really close to the house, so I'm assuming that they were just west of or just southwest of our house and that big pasture land that's got the fresh baby cows and stuff out there. But
yeah, and the only way you could say that the thing in my video is a coyote is if the coyote climbed up a tall tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
two things you just said really made me wonder something. The second thing where you was talking about the tree at Granny's, that was a huge thing. They love the trees. I mean, they were in the trees. That was just something that you just knew. And then the second thing is kind of weird. You said you went outside to smoke. There could be people down there that did not smoke, And, you know, a lot of my family did smoke. And you'd be sitting in the house, and all of a sudden you'd smell cigarette smoke come in the window. And it would smell like somebody had lit a cigarette. And then all that stuff would start. It's like they could mimic more than just sound. There was smells, you know. I don't know, you know, there was cigarette butts everywhere outside. I mean, they, you know, I guess they could have picked up a cigarette butt and started smoking it. But you could smell the actual cigarette. And whenever I talked to the shaman, you know, I'll tell you a little story they told me, and they said it was not uncommon to find like a Sasquatch cave or somewhere that they're staying at. And what you would find would be a tobacco offering, which would be 3 different burn piles that they would do. And they would sometimes use either, you know, wild herbs they would use, but they would also get cigarettes, you know, cigarette butts or whatever, and they would strip them, and they would have their, you know, their tobacco offering, because there's a lot of, you know, a lot of things surround tobacco.
Yep.
Which our tobacco nowadays, it has so many additives in it, you're really not getting just plain tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sad thing. They put that stuff in there to make us want it even more.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing I ever did, was quit smoking. I mean, my God, I quit years ago, and there's times when I want to walk outside and smoke a cigarette.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm cutting way down. So.
I have to give him
It's
props. He is cutting way back, so I'm proud of him. But
it's hard. It's probably one of the hardest things I ever did.
I don't think it
I
ever
tried
goes
vaping.
away either.
No, I mean, I tried the vaping thing when it came out, and to me personally, it just didn't do it. I needed a cigarette. I was like, you know, yeah, that's okay. It kind of hits the urge, but I wanted that Marlboro Light or that Camel. That was my thing.
Yeah. Now I'm wanting to go light a cigarette. Thank you.
well, you can go have your stogie, and I'll
Well-
sit here and keep him company. And then
I'm good. I got a vape. I got a vape. I'm good.
But it was hard for me. If everything would have worked out tonight, I would have went boots on the ground with all these fronts coming in, because usually right before a front, it's pretty active. But the front moved in faster than what I would have wanted it to, and I didn't want to go down in the daylight and spend all day down there. And we had a lot of lightning tonight too. I don't like lightning. I don't mind the wind as much as the lightning. I hate lightning. Lightning is one of those things I do not like.
that's when you go out and hold a golf club.
Or you send somebody out to turn the antenna. I'm not getting a good reception. Could you go turn the antenna?
Okay, you guys, I'm teasing. I was joking with cornbread. I don't want nothing to happen.
Entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
Do not do as we do or say.
Yeah.
We are untrained professionals.
Thanks, Grayson. Let somebody laugh at me.
I seen a guy on TV that was struck multiple times by lightning, survived every one of them. I can't remember the full story, but he was like struck all the time. Like if it was lightning, he almost got struck.
Wasn't that a character in Funny Farm?
I don't know. I never did watch that. I haven't watched that one either.
You haven't seen
I
Funny
did just
Farm?
watch. No. I did, though, just watch a really, really good movie that was based on a true story on Tubi. And my gosh, guys, I could not get away from it. I don't. You remember the name of it, Mom? The name of the movie we just watched?
Goonies isn't a true story.
Yeah. Do you remember? It was about 3 little boys that were unalived, and it was really interesting because it was like the PD in Arkansas, I believe is where it was at. they are the ones that actually set it up to happen and to frame the boys for doing it that didn't do it. So, and it's based on a true story. It was a really good movie. I'll try to find it if y'all want to watch it, and I'll send it to you. It was pretty good.
Hi, Walter.
Hello, Mr. Walter. Well, guys. Oh, go
Dana
ahead. I'm
Fletcher.
sorry.
Dana Fletcher said it was The Great Outdoors. That's the movie where the person was always struck by lightning. You've
Yeah,
seen The
I'm
Great
into
Outdoors
like no.
with John Candy?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No,
What?
I'm into like thrillers, mystery, and horror.
How can you not know what that movie is?
The Great Outdoors. That was like Big Bear.
That
I mean,
and Bunny
Big
Farm. Bunny Farm is hilarious.
I just really never. I mean, I really never watched those kind of movies. I mean, if they were on when the kids were watching them, yeah, I might see parts of it, but never really interested. True crime, documentaries, horrors, thriller, sci-fi. That's where you'd find me.
I like that
I
stuff too, but
celebrate
a good
Friday the
comedy.
13th. I go all in.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it's not Friday the
Mister.
13th. It's Jason Voorhees Day.
That's right.
Crazy.
Amber said, great movie. That's a great movie. It really is.
I
That
haven't
is a
seen it.
good movie.
I might
Yes,
have to
Great
watch it. I might
Outdoors.
have to
Vicky, yes, it was
break.
with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
I
Yep,
might have to break protocol.
great movie.
Have you ever watched Uncle Buck?
Yeah, that's a good one
Nope.
too.
No. I watched Bone Tomahawk.
That's a good movie though.
Get on with the story.
Don, I'm with you with the Underworld series. I love the Underworld series.
Oh, I did too. And Lord of the Rings.
Hmm I wasn't a fan of Twilight though. Uh,
My kids are
No,
going
I
to
wasn't
watch
either.
Twilight earlier.
they lost me at
That
they twinkle.
they lost me at Let's Play Baseball.
Yes, T-Bone. Anything with John Candy is good. I agree.
It was.
But anyways,
Uncle Buck.
Okay, let's tell the story.
vampires suck anyway.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, bad pun there, buddy.
You notice that's our background tonight, guys. I switched it up and I put a vampire in the background tonight. So
I don't see a vampire. I just see smoke.
it's a vampire.
You look like a dog man to me, but okay.
See, they're all the same thing. See, perfect
believe-
example. Perfect example. All right, guys, we've got an encounter. I'm sorry. What now?
I said, hi, Nanny Pam.
Oh yes, Nanny Pam. She is one of the ones that I think that is hard headed like me.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, Dog Soldiers, T-Bone. Yeah, Dog Soldiers was awesome. Oh yes. Before we go any further, also we got the 401 files tomorrow night, and then the next night, Harold, we've got DA's going to be on from his new show, and I'm not going to say what he done last night. A lot of you may already know, but he has a secret, kind of. They're doing some changing over there, so I'll let him talk about that when he comes on the show the 20th. I liked it. I thought it was a good idea.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, I watch his show.
All right, guys. Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. When I first started out doing this, he was one of the very first ones that I made friends with. I had started and I started to grow and everything. And next thing I knew, I'd done the Girl Scout murder case, and him and Robbie. I don't remember if it seems like he was. I can't, and forgive me, because I can't remember the other guy's name. I think he's a nurse. You know who I'm talking about?
He's a paramedic, I believe.
Yes.
Nurse
Yeah, something like that.
/ paramedic. Yeah. Kind of does both.
And I was on their show. They invited me over to talk about the Girl Scout murders, and we had a really good show. It was a really fun show. So that was back in the day, though. That's back whenever I was first really trying to get my feet under me. All right, guys, we've got a werewolf encounter tonight. I know everybody's ready to hear the encounter, the story, before I start getting yelled at. Dawn's getting mad at me. Dawn's telling me it's about time. So I'm going to have to get at it. I don't know if that's what he's saying or not. I think he's talking about something else. All right, guys. When this story took place, it happened in 1997. It happened in Washington, is where this one actually took place at. Uh, he says in 1997, when I had my encounter, I was planning to spend my senior year up in Washington. I had to convince my parents that finally agreed to let me go stay with my grandparents up there. I love to stay with my grandparents, and this move to stay with my grandparents would almost cost me my life. So he said his grandparents lived on a farm, and they farmed a lot of alfalfa. Is usually, he said, cut 4 times. Corn is harvested depending on the moisture content, typically between September and October. The onions are harvested, he said, in late August and early September. The apples are the hardest to harvest because it takes both machines and a lot of people. He said, my grandparents usually hired local high school students, and they paid them by the bushel. I mention this because what happened, he said, took place during the apple and the corn harvest season. Man, I'd like to get me some corn right now. He said, I don't know how it happened, but part of the fence near the apple orchard and the onions had been knocked down. Most of the sheep had wandered off. I discovered this early one morning whenever I was doing some apple picking. Yeah, I got paid, he said, by the bushel also. Several of my friends and I used to ride the four-wheelers to track down and retrieve most of the sheep. Then we repaired the fence, and by mid-afternoon, he said, we had rounded up all but 6. My friends had to leave, and I went to talk to my grandparents, who told me to make sure I tracked down the last ones by the end of the day. Sheep are not cheap, he said. Yeah, I know that. Polo's not cheap. He's still not cheap now that we own him. That thing can, he can eat. I've never seen something eat as much as he can eat. So he says we ate dinner and we headed back out to the tree, or to the three-wheeler, since all the four-wheelers were being used to move apple trailers. I love the three-wheeler. It was older and it had no speed governor, though parts were hard to find and it broke down quite a bit. I rode it along the east side of the property where it was covered in forest and rocky hills. As I mentioned, my grandparents lived near the Idaho border, just a few miles from it. He says, to give you a sense of the land, the southern and eastern parts of the farm were rocky and hilly. The brush and the trees making it the worst part of the land. There were very few fences in that area, but I saw the southern fence. I could get my bearings. That fence belonged to the Mendez family. They farmed a little wheat and a lot of alfalfa, and tracing their fence westward led to the Amish family farms. To the north was a main road that bordered everyone's property. As I headed east, I started to search where we had found the sheep earlier. Looking around, it was hard to tell where the remaining sheep could have gone. The alfalfa was pretty high at this time, so I made my way to the top of the hill to get a better view. That didn't help much, so I searched for an area that the sheep would naturally follow. The most likely path seemed to be at the bottom of the hill, which wrapped around an old half-finished rock quarry. The problem was that the quarry had filled with runoff and resembled a marsh. I cut across the hilltop and I stopped at the top of the slope leading down to the quarry. You ever notice it's always around water? Because now you have a quarry and you got water and it's a marsh, and that's what it's like down there too where I'm at. It seems like it's always a big factor.
Did he say what kind of quarry it was? What kind of rock quarry?
No.
Mm.
I'm guessing probably a one that they would use probably like they do around here just to get gravel, which I don't even know why they do it around here because they end up digging more shell than they do gravel and you end up running your tires.
I just wonder because the quarries around here that we have is close to where we have the dogman activity.
See, what do the quarries have? That's what That would make sense, okay? I know I'm not going to get off topic, guys. I promise. I'm going to keep my ADD straight tonight.
Squirrel.
This actually keeps me on topic, though. It's interesting. Where I live is like all coal mine land, okay? Most of it's all been dug. Everything here has been dug pretty much. What's around me? Hundreds of rock quarries. Hundreds. Because the coal mines, from my understanding, and you may know more about this, Harold, my uncle worked for them forever. They have an agreement on, I think, per so many acres, they have to leave so many ponds whenever they go back and they redo the land. What do they call it? Reclaim? When they reclaim the land?
Yeah.
They have to put back so much ponds, and they have to replant grass and trees, and they have to do a lot of that. So with all the cryptids around here, and back when it was happening at my granny's, the coal mines were really just getting established. I wonder what that has to do with it.
Could it be the minerals or the energy from the rock?
Well, and that's kind of why I asked what kind of rock quarry it is, because, like Jan said, granite attracts supernatural up. But yeah, the rock quarries that we have here are either silica or granite
It's just like limestone that can,
and limestone.
that generates like paranormal or paranormal stuff, but so does the water and all that stuff as well. So I would think it would have to be like the mineral whatever that's in the rock.
Mineral
Maybe.
deposits. Yeah.
What we have around here is granite, limestone, and a lot of shell, and we have a lot of coal. We've actually got
granite, limestone.
Yeah, you can walk.
Would definitely be attractants for paranormal and cryptid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to start looking more into that.
That's why I asked.
Because now I'm starting to wonder where the first coal mines were at down around here.
Yeah.
Because remember me telling you a story about the house that I grew up in? And again, not to get off subject, but the house that I grew up in, our neighborhood was basically on top of one of the quarries.
That is weird.
Like, pretty much literally on top of the quarries. Like when the quarry would blast, our whole house would shake.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. They used to do that to us.
And that was
We'd have whatnots fall
quarry.
off. Oh, yeah. We'd have whatnots that fall off. They would crack our sheetrock in our house and everything. Then they would come and they would assess it, and then they would fix it, and then they would take photographs, and then they'd come back and check it.
But it was never the quarry's fault, right? From the blasting.
No, they actually paid for all of ours. They would take care of it.
Oh.
Yeah, because they would show up before, and they would like photograph everything, the foundation, the ceilings, the walls, everything. And then they would blast for so long, and then the same guy would come back and he would compare his photos. And if there was anything there, they would always fix it for us.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah. The money they was pulling out in coal, though. Yeah.
Okay.
So he says, I flipped the kill switch on my three-wheeler. I got off of it, and I walked over to the edge before the slope tapered down to the marshy drop-off. It was quiet out there. I could feel a faint wind blowing past me toward the swamp. And he said, I started thinking to myself, what an eerie sight it is out here. The exposed hill was dotted with sagebrush and loose rocks. Weathered by time, some large rocks looked like they could be rolled down the marsh below. He says part of the rock face was gray, but most of it was red. In the evening light, the whole area looked grim. I checked my watch. It was 7:47 p.m., a time that I will never forget. It's burned into my memory. The sun was about to set, and the twilight was fading fast. He said, I planned to return home, but my teenage self decided it might be fun to roll a few rocks down into the water. I mean, what boy can resist throwing rocks into water? I found a few basketball-sized rocks nearby and rolled them down. It was pretty cool the way they would roll and they would crash into the water. They caused a little shell to the side to come loose and follow down with it. So naturally, It was fun, so I started looking for an even bigger rock. I mean, if the small ones were fun, a bigger one had to be better, right? So he said I ended up spotting one. It was about the size of my three-wheeler. This thing was huge, but I could tell that it was loose and it was ready to fall. So I pushed on it and pried on it and could barely even get it to budge. He said I needed more leverage. So I ran up the hill to look for a branch I could use. I broke one off of a tree and made my way back down to the rock. It was still light enough to see clearly. As I was about to wedge the branch under the rock, I heard sheep bleating, one after another. They must be on the other side of the swamp, I thought. Knowing I couldn't do much in that terrain, I decided to head back to the truck right after I finished rolling the rock down the hill. He said I wedged the branch under the rock. Thank you very much for that, Sunshine. God bless you for that. He said, I wedged the branch under the rock in several spots until it finally tilted and it gave way. The rock quickly picked up and sped thundering down the slope, with gravel and small rocks following in its wake. The slide was louder than I expected. I'm talking, this was super loud. He said it actually echoed through there. It actually kind of startled him, he said. He said it was really loud. He said, I must have scared some animal. I finished watching the last of the rocks slide down and returned to my three-wheeler. Just as I was about to start it, I heard the sheep bleating again, possibly startled by the noise, I thought. I turned and yelled. I'll be right back as I moved to kickstart the engine. But before I could, I caught the sight of a gray mass moving rapidly toward me. In an instant, I was thrown from the three-wheeler. You know, that's something that I haven't told a whole lot of people about. One of my sightings, this is me, where I actually saw the creature myself. It was in the late evening. I was riding in the back of, my dad had bought me a 1979 Ford half-ton truck, and he was redoing it for me. I loved that truck. It was baby blue. And him and Mom were taking me fishing, you know. So I was riding in the back, you know. I was riding in the back down the dirt roads and driving over the creeks, you know, just enjoying the evening, you know, happy to go fishing with everybody. We love to go fishing. And whenever we got down to this one bridge, and that's the bridge that y'all are probably very familiar with. It's one that I do a lot of investigations at. When we went over this bridge, I was just, you know how when you're riding the back of a truck as a kid, you're looking everywhere, you know, you're like watching the rocks and you're looking at the water and looking in the trees, and I see something moving, and I thought it was a deer. And I was ready to, you know, hit the back of the window and say, Mom, Dad, you know, point and look, and hey, look, deer, you know. And I'm looking, and this wasn't no damn deer. It was running on two legs. It wasn't massively tall like everybody says. 6-7 foot, okay? Not one of these 12, 14 foot. It wasn't like super tall. And it's running. It's very graceful because there's hills out there. I mean, it's just going over them like nothing. But the weird thing, the thing that I will always remember, the two things, it had pointed, short ears. The ears were not big. These were short, pointed ears. They weren't tall. And another thing I remembered was the color of it. And the color of what I seen that day running looked like the end of your cigarette ash. When you're smoking, you know, and your ashes get real long, like Dad would fall asleep and they would get like real long. The color of them ashes, that black and that gray and that white, you know how it all is together in cigarette ash? That's how that thing was colored. I will never forget that. It was just almost pretty, you know. It was, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
He says the blow came without a warning. One moment everything was right side up. The next thing I knew, the world was spiraling out of control. Flipping and tumbling, ground sky, blurring together as gravity pulled me down the jagged slope. I was entangled with something massive. Its mat of fur brushed against my face as we tumbled together down the hill. The first few rolls poked and tore holes through my flannel, scraping my back and leaving me grasping for air. But it only got worse. With every turn, the creature that had knocked me off balance slammed into me, its body heavily dense, reeking of rot. Each impact I felt was breaking me apart, bone by bone. I can't explain to you guys how bad this actually hurt. I felt the rocks sliding beneath us. My head throbbed from rolling, but the creature was taking the brunt of each impact, thank God, due to its massive size. Then a sudden pain near my waist pierced through my shirt. Claws, perhaps? But Mike, before I could even finish the thought, I came to a jerking halt. And I want you guys to know this was the scariest, he said, effing thing that had ever happened in my life. The creature tumbled off of me, its hulking mass rolling further down the hill. I clawed at the ground, my hand brushed against something tangled in my belt. A sagebrush. It had caught me, saving me from tumbling further with the creature. I struggled to my feet, disoriented, tears in my eyes. And Mike, I want you to understand, I know I keep saying this, but it's important. I am physically in pain at this point. I am hurt. I loosened my belt, freeing myself. I tried to stand and walk, but the hillside was unforgiving. I tried crawling on my knees, but the small rocks dug into them through my pants. My nerves were making my legs spasm automatically. I thought I was stuck. I was afraid that I was going to fall and drown because I couldn't hardly use my legs. So I started to army crawl. It was the only way that I could get across the slope, desperate to escape whatever had tumbled me away. I was scared as hell. Yeah, I was crying, he said. I started screaming for help from my grandma and grandpa, knowing there was no way they could hear me, that I was way too far away, but I guess it's just human nature. I felt like I was dying or I was about to be killed. I was screaming at the top of my lungs for help. The loose rock shifted under my weight, but after that, it felt like an hour. Time was dragging by. I wanted to be away from it so bad, but everything seemed to be in slow motion. I couldn't move fast enough. I couldn't run fast enough. I was screaming for help, but it seemed like my screams weren't as loud as if whenever I was screaming playing. It's hard to say, Mike. I can't explain it all. It just felt like I wanted to scream louder than what I was able to. Could have been the fear, he said. I found a more stable spot, and I was able to stand and to start to run again. The three-wheeler was on its side with a puddle of gas seeping into the dirt from the vent hole on the gas cap. I did what I had done numerous times with that thing. I squatted down, tilted upright by the handlebar and the back fender. The engine, I knew, would be flooded. I held the throttle wide open to help the fuel settle. I didn't want to wait, but I knew if I hadn't given it a little time, it would flood even further. As I waited, I heard it. Down below, that thing was still there, trying to claw its way back up. It was growling, almost in a scream, like it was aggravated that it was hurt. It was making distance. I could hear it coming up the hill, and it was coming up way faster than I was able to move. It's mad, it's hurt, it's growling, it's snorting, and I can hear it coughing. And the weird thing, it clears its throat, Mike, and it spits.
Ew.
What kind of creature, and he says, can effing clear its throat like a man and spit? I could hear the drainage, mucus, or blood, whatever it was, in its lungs. But it was pissed, and it was coming. And I muttered to myself, save me, Jesus, please save me.
That's weird.
Y'all want to say anything?
Gross.
I don't know any animal that actually any animal that can actually like clear its throat. I mean, even when our family pets have been sick and drainage. They like hack. They
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, like clear their throat and spit.
So part person, part dog, part I don't know.
It like what I agree with Christy too. It puts that human aspect to it, that you're not dealing with.
These are not animals.
Right, you're not dealing with a dumb animal. These things are intelligent. And correct me if I'm wrong again, but didn't you say? I think it was you that told me, Jesse. I'm not sure. Wasn't Bone Tomahawk actually based off of a true story or something?
Yeah, the Oklahoma Bigfoot Wars.
Did you know that, Harold?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Where have you been?
I'm not allowed to be on the internet after 10.
Why not? You stay up until God knows forever time. I'm just giving you crap.
Because all I do is edit, Christy. I edit and then I get up and everything's blurry when I walk around. I'm like, y'all ever get that screen sickness where like everything's blurry and you feel dizzy and disoriented and you're like, oh wow.
Mm-hmm. All the
Yep.
time.
It's hard to walk. It's hard to walk straight sometimes, and you go outside to look at the hills to enjoy the nice day, and you can't see the trees because everything's so blurry.
I don't have that privilege of walking out my front door and seeing mountains, but one day
You get the privilege of you get the privilege of the blurriness, though, right?
I get what you're saying. Yes, smart aleck.
Let's see. Jim says, Mike, ask them why they took so long to tell you. To tell me what? Did I miss something? Okay, that question will be for Jessie. She knows about that. She'll be the expert on that. I didn't know about it, so I can't really speak on it. I don't know how they done that. And Harold may know too.
Oh, it was because of the strange. It was the storyline based on the children and women being taken from the villages and
Yep.
all of the things that were happening to them when they were finding them dead and eaten. So, in the Bigfoot Wars, it was the Bigfoot, but they created Bone Tomahawk around the fact that they were natives.
If I ever am around cannibals and I know it, I'm going to dress up like a clown if that happens in the end times because they won't eat me because they'll say I taste funny. All right. Hey, Christy. I knew she was going to say something. So he said, I squinted my eyes and trying to see what it was. I had dirt in my eyes as I thought, but when I wiped my eyes to clear the dirt from my eyes, I noticed that both arms was full of blood. I was bleeding from my head, he said, pretty bad. Its shape, he said, this is the weird thing. He's going to describe it. And I've never heard anybody, I don't think, ever describe one of these quite this way. As he says, it looked like a badger. He said, yeah, that's the weird thing. But it was far larger than any badger could ever possibly grow. He said, but then I started thinking, maybe it's a wolverine or maybe a large wild boar. He said, I'm trying to make sense of what just attacked me. It kept growling, sounded like something between a whine and a snarl. I could stay kicking, I could started kicking the three-wheeler. He said, trying to start it. And that's whenever it stepped out. And I saw the snout. He said, these effing things are not supposed to exist. He said, dang, no way that thing is here. No way am I seeing this. But he said it was there, and it was standing there, and it was looking at me. And just like a dog does, he said, and I knew that the attack was fixing to happen. The hair on the back of its neck stood straight up. That would be scary as hell, would it not?
Mhm.
Yep.
He said, like a dog that you see at somebody's house that is a watchdog that you know will bite you, that's not just barking at you. He lowered his head in that lowered position. His head, he flexed it out. It's like he made his head wider. The hair on the back of his neck was standing. He said, I knew then I had to get out of there. He said, my heart was pounding as I pushed the machine. The wind howled in my ears. I tore across the hill, nearing almost 40 miles an hour. The tree line loomed ahead, and I slowed just enough to weave between the trunks. I turned north, knowing my way back to the trail, but as I did, I caught a glimpse of it. The creature had caught up with me, and its dark shape was darting between the tree lines, chasing me and jumping over the stumps. He said, my panic surged, and I veered south, crouching down over the handlebars, hoping to lose it. But my front tire hit something hard, jerking the front wheel up and slamming it back down, causing the headlight bulb to come loose and flicker like a strobe light. The creature dashed by me, barely visible in the light. He had now passed me. I couldn't believe how fast it was. The forest began to thin. The open hill was in sight, but then a violent shove from the side sent my three-wheeler skidding like I was drifting around a corner. I fought for control, but the thing rammed me again harder this time, fully spinning me around. Instinctively, I clamped down on the brakes, causing the engine to stall.
Bless you.
It was like I went momentarily deaf. All sound disappeared. I started telling myself, don't pass out, don't pass out. If you pass out, you're going to die. If you pass out, you're going to die. I was fighting so hard, he said, not to go unconscious. He said, because I was truly about to pass out. And he knew that if he passed out, that he was probably not going to wake back up.
Right.
He said the hair on my arm stood up, brushing against my shirt sleeves. My hands started to shake, and my jaw was quivering. I was crying, Mike, and I was screaming for my mom, and people can laugh at me and chat if they want to. But I swear to God, I was so afraid, so scared. Not just of death, knowing that it was going to kill me, but everything was flashing through my mind, Mike, like I was never going to see my family again. My mom, my dad, everybody that I loved, and then the thought races through my mind. Will I die fast, or will it be slow? Will it kill me, or will it just take me with it and kill me later? What will I go through? Those are the things that scared me the most. It growled so deeply, I swear, he said, I could feel it rattle in my chest. I turned and it looked at me, and its eyes were glowing orange with hatred, as if I wasn't scared enough. It truly showed me that it was a demon from hell whenever it stood up on its hind legs. At this point, I knew this was an effing werewolf, straight out of a movie. I'm talking the scariest damn thing you could ever imagine was standing in front of me. But it was far more terrifying than my wildest imagination. I naturally scooted backwards, falling off of my three-wheeler. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but when I read these encounters, sometimes I think about back when I was a kid and I would walk from home to like ponds and stuff around my house, by myself and fish and stuff. And, never thought about that stuff. And I would get scared sometimes and you would feel like something was watching you, but you may not always see it. And now it kind of makes you wonder, how many times was I lucky when I was, would stay just a little bit longer because the fish were biting, that something didn't take advantage of that. A lot. I think about that stuff. I guess, I don't know. It's kind of like hindsight or something, I don't know. I guess our moms knew what they were talking about when they told us to be home at a certain time.
Yep.
He said once I was on. That's right. I agree with you. I think that
Take that and run.
hard-headed boys push the boundaries naturally, I think.
So do hard-headed girls.
Yeah, but there's no hope for them. At least we grow out of it. Harold says, "Why do you do this?"
I'm not saying anything.
Like, don't get me in trouble.
He says, "I kept scooting back, and the creature slowly." And he said, "I don't know if this makes sense to a lot of people in the chat, but he said he wanted me to make this apparent to you guys. You know, I think Harold and Christian, most everybody in our chat will get this, but he said, whenever it went from all fours or from two legs to down to all fours, he said it wasn't like it fell over. It's like it had enough like strength in its stomach and stuff that it just controllably came down, like a lot of strength." And he said, whenever it slowly went to all fours, its feet touched the ground so quiet. It had so much strength in its legs that this thing was stealthy quiet. And then it walked around to the side of the three-wheeler. I knew I couldn't outrun it, but he said I turned and I ran anyway. I didn't make it 3 steps before I tripped, landing on my face. Then I felt it. Yes, it was a hand. An actual hand wrapped around my left ankle. I turned over, barely able to twist my leg in the creature's grasp. The creature stretched out, but not fully, pulling me toward it. Finally, something snapped in me, and I started to panic again, but I was so angry and desperate, and I wanted to survive. I wanted to live. And I said, if you're going to eat me today, then at least you're going to have to kill me in a fight. He said, I looked at it and I said, you want to eat me? And I screamed it at it, kicking wildly with my free leg and trying to pull myself back. Its mouth was wide open. The head was so much larger than its body. It was strange. It only seemed to enrage it further. Its growl intensified. My foot wasn't doing much, so I did what you would do normally. I cried and screamed even more, he said. And he said, I picked it up. I leaned forward and I smashed the werewolf's nose. Then I shoved a rock into its eyes. I grabbed a handful of dirt and I just threw it into its face like you see in the movies. It yipped and it released my leg, swatting at me before it grabbed its face. I quickly rolled aside, got my feet, one emotion, leaped to my machine, kicked it, and by the grace of God, that, he said, POS actually started on the first kick, which he said normally never would.
Hello, DA.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that, Larry. God bless you for that. DA's in the chat tonight.
Yep.
Good to see you, DA. I'm on an iPad, so I can't see chat real good, but it is good to see you tonight. Thank you.
Hello, DA.
He said, my machine was drawing me closer to home, but then I heard its hideous roar. It rattled through my core, chills running through my body like a cold breeze on a hot day. You ever felt like sometimes, he said, that something was after you when you was a child, if it was running out of a home or been outside, or just something happened to where you felt like you needed to run, he said. And you would run and you would make it in the house, but you didn't know if something was really after you or not. But you would have that feeling of relief as if you had just outran the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know that feeling. Thought of the stairs in my basement.
Yeah, I've done that a lot.
I had to run downstairs out of the attic.
Really?
Yep.
Fat girls don't run.
I tried to run one day and I fell, and my mom She said that I ran like a fat man and I fell like one. There's DA. So yeah, DA Roberts is in the house tonight, guys. Uh, Everybody give him a warm welcome. DA's a really good guy, good friend of mine. He's, like I said, he was one of the first ones I spoke to, and he's always been a friend of mine. It's always a pleasure to see DA and talk to DA. He's just a good guy, guys. He is. Go over and support him also on his channel, guys. I support DA. He's a good guy. Yeah, Mom was brutally honest. He said my three-wheeler was getting me closer to home. Before the three-wheeler ever stopped, my feet hit the ground. I ran to the barn. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's because it was the closest cover to anything, and I felt like if I could get inside of the barn that I would be safe. So he said I ran to the barn, I pushed the doors open, and I slipped inside, feeling around for a latch. My hand found the familiar groove. I reached past it, and I grabbed the handle, and I pulled myself up into the loft. Sliding a metal bar across the door, I pushed the door closed. A moment of relief washed over me as I slid down on the dirt floor. I could hear my three-wheeler outside, still idling. Yeah, the piece of shit didn't even die. It wants to run now. So he says, looking around and taking in the layout, I recognized the barn. It was Grandpa's barn. And I'd moved hay and calves out of this barn several times in my youth. I remembered because my grandpa had me move hay all the time out of the loft with a pulley. I looked down the middle of the barn, seeing the stalls and the barred windows. Thank God Grandpa had barred the windows. I wonder why Grandpa barred the windows. Sitting there, I felt my heart pounding, my skin clammy with a cold sweat I hadn't noticed before. Reality set back in. Maybe my mind was playing tricks on me, but as the engine idled outside, I heard dense, heavy footsteps. I thought to myself, no, the effing thing has found me. I thought, springing to my feet, making my way through the barn, peering through the stall opening. I squinted into the flickering light of the three-wheeler that was flashing like a disco ball, and I saw the werewolf sniffing the air. Not my bike. It lifted my bike back and forth, letting out a low growl before tossing it over like a toy, and it gurgled and then gave one last sputter before it died, which also turned out the light. When the engine wound down, my eyes darted to each window. Surely that thing wasn't strong enough to rip through the bars, right? And then came the bang. Then another, looking around in the dim light. It was hard to see what was happening. Bang, another crash. Then the other side of the barn. Bang. Catching a glimpse of it out of the window, I could see it slamming into the barn. No way, I thought. It was trying to break in. It was running, slamming into the barn, using its body as a battering ram. This thing is pissed. I mean, it's got to be pissed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Sounds like
I'm thinking he heard it. I think he heard it with that rock. I think's what happened, and it took it personal.
Yeah, I think so.
Because normally, I mean, to pursue you like this and to be using its body to, you know. He said, my stomach twisted as it circled the barn, testing different spots of the barn. This damn thing was pushing on the boards, trying to find a way in. When the banging finally stopped, that's when the scraping began. This thing was scratching all over the barn. Then ting, ting, ting. It dragged its claws across the bars. It stopped, sniffed the air, which you could hear him sniffing loudly, deep breaths. He said they weren't like normal sniffing. This thing was like a vacuum. It was like a huge, it was taking big breaths of air, sniffing. And he said, I saw it looking directly at me through the window, and what an awful sight those eyes were. I couldn't help but stare into those malice eyes that were hunting me. Standing there, I started to back up against the stall wall behind me. It let out a raw snarl, its arms reaching and feeling around, pulling its arms out. It collapsed the bars and jerked them wildly. This thing was jerking so wild, it was frantically even throwing its head around like it was having a fit. The creature stood there, staring. Its eyes kept looking at me. Then it would grab the bars and just start shaking its whole body, jumping off the ground, pulling on the bars. I mean, this thing was in a straight rage.
Sounds like quite a tantrum.
Oh, man.
Is it a girl or a boy?
He said, I don't know. I don't think he went out there and looked.
Yeah, I don't think it matters at that point.
Excuse me, sir. Ma'am.
Before you take my head off, could you please let me know?
Before you off, man.
Excuse me. What do you identify as?
Yeah.
We're just going to consider them non-binary for now.
Yeah. So he said, I didn't know what it was. And then the silence hit. And sometimes I think the silence was actually worse than the noise. I pulled up my sleeve and I looked at my watch. Barely an hour had passed since the rock slide. It was now 9 p.m. Actually, 9:03. Surely my grandparents and others were at least looking for me or have heard the growling at the barn. The werewolf had found a small softball-sized knothole and now had stuck its snout through the opening, sniffing the inside. After finishing my search, I laid down and I was scared to death. I gathered my courage and whatever I was holding in my right hand, which was a pitchfork, and I thought, if I could hit it with this, I could hurt it, maybe, enough to get away. But then reality sunk in and I thought, if I try to fight this thing with this, it's going to use it on me. So I immediately backed out of that idea, backed out of the stall, and I went to the window. And I could hear it outside, as if it was kind of gasping for air, as if it maybe had ran itself out of energy. So then I decided to crawl to the top loft of the barn. Whenever I climbed to the top of the loft of the barn, this is when I seen something. And he says, I swear to God, I will never forget as long as I live. The creature was walking off because my grandpa was coming across the pasture in his tractor. And as it was walking off, he said the most scariest thing that ever happened, and I will never forget more than anything that happened to me in this whole story, was it was wearing the same flannel shirt that our Amish neighbor was wearing that I had seen earlier in the day, walking back toward their house. You all tell me what you think. I don't know. It hasn't happened since, but this will bother me and bothers me to this day. What do you all think? I'm anxious to see what your subscribers will say about this story and whatever guests you have on. Thank you for sharing this, Mike. I'll be watching one of your top fans. His name, he said I could share, is same as his name is Jim. Yes, Amber, he survived the encounter.
Huh.
Dana.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that
I mean,
is interesting that it was was wearing the neighbor's same shirt. So, was it the neighbor, or did they take something from the neighbor? It wouldn't be the first time that we heard them take something from the neighbor's clothesline.
you know, that's a tough one. Yes, it was. The neighbors were Amish, Jan. It makes me. I don't know. That's a weird one.
I have a question.
I'll do my best.
Amish people normally don't wear flannel, do they? Or am I thinking Mennonite? men. Most of the time, it's a
Honestly,
white shirt, black, with a black hat, with beard, longer hair. Or am I thinking Mennonite? You guys have to help me out because I'm not. But
I don't
most
know.
Amish don't wear color.
Let me Google. I thought it was white shirts.
it,
Let me Google.
Amish men usually wear white or blue,
Yeah.
but they do make exceptions for cold weather.
So the flannel threw
Oh,
me
okay.
now.
I grew up around Amish in Iowa, so um, a lot of them did wear flannel in the cold months.
You know what makes me wonder is whenever he looked up at his neighbor's house, was it his neighbor that he saw?
Yeah.
Or did he just assume, that was his neighbor that he saw standing up there in the flannel? Was this thing watching him the whole time?
Well, if he had just seen that same type of shirt that same day, yeah, I would be thinking the same thing too. If I saw something like that trying to get in my barn, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same shirt the neighbor was wearing. You automatically put your brain puts those two together, and a lot of the
Right.
time, even if it's not quite the same, at that moment you're thinking, yeah, that looks similar to my neighbor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, Dana, he said everything's back to normal. Nothing's happened again since that incident. I mean, the neighbors are the same. I mean, everything's normal. It was just that one moment. It's almost like, it's almost like he threw that boulder off and he hurt it. Is what it sounds like it, and it may have hit another one. It may have killed a baby that was down there. I mean, something happened that caused this thing to really rage.
Well, I think if it would have killed a baby, it probably wouldn't have just stopped after that.
Right.
Just my thought.
Kind of like a scorned person, right?
Uh-huh.
What, it wasn't
Yeah.
going to stop.
Right?
um I mean, what do you think, Harold? What would be your, do you think he hurt something?
Um, yeah, yeah, I think so. I think that, like you said, when things started gasping for air, um, it had to be injured pretty bad. So it gasping for air and then seeing the man coming back on the tractor, um, it was like, yeah, I got to survive
Right.
to fight another day.
Harold
Mm.
gave me an idea too. Just by Harold saying that, he just gave me another idea. Harold talking about it gasping and, the gurgling and all. If that was blood, maybe it didn't happen again because whatever it was died. Maybe
Internal
it didn't
bleeding.
survive it. Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe it died that night and that's why nothing else has happened. Maybe it wasn't even the neighbor. Maybe it just went off and died. And
Well, if I wonder if he checked to see if the neighbor was still around after that.
yeah, I did. He said everything is the same because that's what I thought, it was a neighbor. And he's like, no, everything is the same. Nothing's changed. It's just that one incident.
Hmm.
Could have been somebody else from the Amish community that was familiar with the area.
How many times, and this is another scary thing, people talk about these creatures taking, clothes off of clotheslines and stuff. Whenever I go fishing sometimes, down in the woods and stuff, and I walk down and, you don't always, and you'll look down, just down the lake, down the side, and you'll see somebody fishing, right? And they may be way down there. I mean, I don't sit there and study them and get out the binoculars, I just see somebody down there and I just assume it's another fisherman. But what if something has took clothes off a clothesline and it was sitting down there?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not, I mean, because I don't look at things, like, is that a human or is that, you just look and you're like, oh, there's somebody else fishing.
Yeah, like the one report from Lawton, Oklahoma, many, many years ago. Um, somebody had reported. They said it looked like a werewolf that was wearing a shirt and jeans.
Oh, I read some of that. Is that the same one where the guy was on the porch or something and something happened? It jumped up on the railing or something, like flat-footed, jumped straight up on it.
Yeah,
Is that the same one?
I've heard a couple of different accounts on it, and yeah,
Wow.
it's the same one. Then
Wow.
I also heard that there was an old lady that had hung clothes on her clothesline there in Lawton, and she went back inside, and someone had witnessed this creature um, pulling the clothes off the clothesline, right? And then the police surrounded this creature, and it was wearing it was wearing a long sleeve and some jeans, because apparently um, this creature was watching these kids play, these teenagers play, and he saw that they were wearing clothes, and he had the opportunity to grab clothes so he could try to blend in.
Wow.
He ends up getting chased all through Lawton by the police and the fire department and everything, and got away.
Amber asked if it was in the 1970s.
Yeah, that was the 1970s.
Sabrina,
Good,
where did
good.
you send the pictures to?
You know, in the county that I live in, I think it was also the 1970s, Harold. The actual sheriff and the undersheriff, they'd done a actual police report. I can get it. And they shot at a Bigfoot in the loft of a barn. They actually documented it, believe it or not. Law enforcement documented it. The actual sheriff and undersheriff. And it's not very far from where I'm investigating where that happened at.
Oh yeah.
So for law enforcement to document something like that,
Mm-hmm.
but they shot at it. They both shot at it. They both said they shot at it. It was over 8 foot tall. They said it was up in the loft of the barn. And the reason they shot at it is because when they pulled their patrol cars up, they spotlighted it, you know. And whenever they spotlighted it, it was up in the loft, and it was so tall that it was having to like hunch over and kind of like barrel up.
Mm-hmm.
And when they shined the lights on it, it actually jumped out of the loft and came toward them.
Mm-hmm.
And they started shooting at it, and that's whenever it made the circle and went back toward the river bottoms. But it actually came at them before it went away from them. I mean, they were using 357s. That's what they carried back then. And, 357 ain't nothing to sneeze at. And they said they were firing at it, and they was able to turn it.
Yeah. I would have done the same thing. I mean, I don't believe in killing these creatures, but that was self-defense. So if I'd have had a weapon on me like that, I would open fire. If it's lunging, yeah.
Yeah, Amber, I believe there was somebody that made a sketch of it. I do believe it was listed in the newspaper. Another thing you'll find around my area is Highway 10, I believe, where it was at, between Lenapaw and Welch, Oklahoma. There was I believe it was a UPS delivery driver was driving down that stretch of road and spotted what he believed was a Bigfoot out in the field. And then there was a lady that lived on that highway that actually saw it, and she was placed in the emergency room, and I think she had like a heart attack or an anxiety attack. It was something like that. And she was hospitalized. It was one of the only really documented cases of somebody having to be took to the ER by looking at it. She said just the mere, and it was a ways away, but by looking at it, she said it scared her so bad because these things are not supposed to exist. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Bible says we'll see things that'll cause young men's hearts to fail them. You know, I mean, like the guy that was at my granny's. Shit. I thank God. I mean, I went through some hell down there, but I thank God that I did not. What happened to him didn't happen to me. Because when he said he walked around the corner of my granny's house in the dark, because he thought it was somebody, he honestly thought it was a window peeker. And he was this big, you know, jock type that fought everybody, wasn't afraid of nobody, was big, strong, and he was just going to kick their butt, you know. He says he come around the side of the house, and it's standing there, and it's you know the hog troughs, the old metal hog troughs, you know. Grandma had one of those at her back door. She'd dump the scraps out into, and it was cramming the food in the side of its mouth, and the food was just like running down it. And he said it just cocks its head and turns and looks at him, and kind of smiles, and it goes, "Hello." He said, I ran as hard as I could ever run.
Sabrina said she
You know,
emailed it to your email address, so I don't have that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to pull it out, and maybe we can pull it up on our next show, because I'm on my iPad. I'm not using the laptop. I didn't want to deal with the lag tonight. I think this does a lot better, right, guys?
Yeah.
Other than the little echo, but yeah.
See, I don't hear it. Ha, 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 ha. You hear that? Y'all still hear the echo, Harold?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's a little delayed on my side, but it still echoes. Yeah.
Okay. So, Harold, I ain't got no more. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody Wednesday night what you're going to be showing, and give them a teaser. That way we can get some people to come over and watch your show. I'll be there for sure. I ain't going to miss that at all.
Yeah, Wednesday night. This coming Wednesday night, on OCST Bigfoot and stuff on YouTube. Me and Christy will be showing a video I took. Let's see, when was it? Friday, I believe. Yeah, it was Friday.
I don't know. Our days run into each other.
I told everybody I was going to go outside and see if I could find anything. Well, I went out there. Once, and I didn't have any equipment on me. And I came back in, and I told her that it was really, really dark outside. And so I got my camera and went back outside, my night vision camera. And I'm going up and down the backyard, and I'm filming here and there. And in the middle, if anybody's seen my last night vision in the backyard, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say the trees in the middle are on this side of the pasture next door. Well, I peered through those, and there's something that I caught on camera on the other side of the pasture, next to the tree line of that other bunch of trees. So when I say it's one of those, is it there? Oh yeah, it is. Everybody needs to tune in for that. It's like I got a 6-minute video. I took the beginning of it off because nothing happens, but I started up when I start filming in that area. So if you don't want to tune in for the whole show, at least tune in for the middle.
The middle.
Do you guys think that whatever it is it coming up to your house, Harold? Do you think it's looking in the windows and stuff, or do you think it's keeping its distance?
Oh, I know it's looking in the windows because I found
God
footprints by the windows. So not this last time though. Probably a couple of weeks.
Oh, tell them that you got gifted a rock today too.
Oh yeah, I got gifted a nice rock. I left it in the room, but rock about yay big. Where I usually sit down outside when I'm having a cigarette. Um, there's nothing there except for the cat's feeding dishes. Well, today
Okay,
there's
so,
a nice big rock about yay big sitting right where my feet would normally be. Cleaning it off and adding it to the collection because I have several other things that I've been gifted. So
sounds like you might have a stalker.
You mean it's not me? No, I'm
I'll tell you a funny story before we cut out of here, and it's kind of an interesting one. My uncle was outside one night, and he didn't hardly ever smoke. He was one of those guys that could buy a pack of cigarettes and last him a month. He just smoked whenever he would get nervous or something.
mm-hmm.
He decided one night he was going to have a cigarette, so he was outside, and even though everybody smoked inside of the house back then when I was little, he didn't. He would always go outside for some reason. He would never smoke around people. He would always go outside. So he lit a cigarette. He was sitting out there smoking, and he's looking toward the hog pasture, where I told y'all where all that stuff was at.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes his cigarette, right, and he flips it out there into the hog pasture because it's just all it is sandstone. So he just flips it out there, and he gets up, and the cherry starts floating off of the ground. And then the cherry gets real bright, and then something starts coughing really deep, and then it runs off. I think something mimicked him. I think it picked it up and toked on it.
Yeah, I think so.
He shared a cigarette with the creature.
I thought that was really weird.
Kind of, yeah, freaky.
Well, Harold, Christy, I know y'all are probably as tired as I am. Oh, we got something. Oh, wow.
Teaser.
You got a teaser. I'm definitely going to be over to watch that for sure. I'm sure a lot of our people will be over. It'd be what, Wednesday night at 8:00, right?
Right.
Yeah. 8 p.m. Central.
Tyler, thank you. Yeah, definitely show up over there, guys. Check out what he's got. These things, I'm telling you, they will. A lot of times you don't have to look for them; they will find you. I know a lot of people that have found them and wish they wouldn't have found them because they can't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They attach. They get lonely, kind of like that old commercial when I was little. Are you lonely tonight? The 800 numbers.
Should I tell them a little tidbit of mine too?
Yeah.
Tell you stayed up very late watching TV.
What else was there to do back in the 80s?
Right.
Right. I mean, they even used to say, "Pick up the phone." That was their slogan.
I hope you never did. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I hated that because I was the OETA movie fan club person. I couldn't wait till Fridays and Saturdays to watch the Channel 11 movies, no matter what they were. Most of the time they were old black and whites, but they were good.
So I have a little not sneak, but I have a little drop a hint for you. You guys, tonight, after we get done doing the show, you might want to go to my YouTube page because I'm dropping something very special. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you're going to want to check it out on my YouTube.
And tell them the name of your page where they can find you, Christy.
CRJ Design.
CRJ Design.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
guys, go
AI
check her out over there.
If AI Mod will drop my link, because I know she's been dropping links all night because we love her.
Drop it like it's hot.
The AI mod is just absolutely beautiful. I can't even bring her on, guys, because she's so beautiful to look at. She's an amazing person, very smart and beautiful, and just all wrapped up in one package.
She's an awesome sauce.
He's still kissing butt.
I
I'm
learned my
kissing butt
lesson
too, I'm
messing
telling
with her. I learned my lesson. She has no problem timing you out for 6 trillion seconds.
you. Just don't tease her off, and she won't do that. Cornbread.
I know. Hey, y'all, I don't know if you saw my outdoor channel videos I released with me and Logan fishing here lately, but I kind of had some fun with it because we was using corn for bait. And I stuck the corn in my pocket because I didn't want to have to bend over and keep going back to get a piece of corn. So I was like, instead of rocks in my pocket, I got corn in my pocket.
So did you make a Jiffy Pop or bread?
I'm special. I turned it into perch fillets.
Perch fillets. Did you do it
Yes.
clean and cook then?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
We did. Yeah, we done the whole perch where you just fry the whole perch,
Nice.
That's what we did. Logan loved it. He had a ball. He had a lot of fun. And of course, he danced on me. It's a little bit of a competition out there, so he would do his little dance at me. He calls it the perch dance.
Is that
Did A? Oh yeah, he was getting down with it. Yeah, he loves to dance. So did she drop your link yet?
I don't know.
AI mod, do you have that link? Jim's Camera at Dawn. Good to see you guys. If you're ever up early in the morning, go over to Jim's Camera at Dawn. He has some real beautiful video he puts out. Birds. I watched it the other morning while I drank coffee, and I really enjoy it. There. Oh no, AI mod put that one out.
AI mod doesn't love me. No, just kidding.
She might be drinking that strawberry wine tonight.
Hey.
Are you okay? Jesse, are you okay? You're making faces and you seem distant.
Sorry.
She looks like she was reading.
I was a little worried about her there for a second.
No, I was just looking at Sabrina's photos that she sent in, and did she say those were from your boots on the ground, or those were from something else?
They're from my boots on the ground.
Did you just get all high and...
I did. I was like...
I'm telling you.
Oh, looky there, Christy. Christy, you got Amber just subscribed to you.
Yep.
This is my happy dance.
See? We're all happy tonight.
I'm tired as hell.
Me too. I'm getting the sleepy tired, how you get goofy, when you get tired.
So today we just a little story life thing for us. We actually had Connor's girlfriend and his mom over tonight. We had a birthday party for CJ, and I made, what are they called? Flautas? Our version?
Flautas.
Yeah. Our version of flautas.
Ooh, I love
And they
flowers.
loved them. And I'm tired because I've been up since, I'm going to say, okay, I've been up since 10 o'clock, but I haven't really sat down since I woke up. And I'm tired, and I've been cooking, and I made a cake and all that stuff. I've been
Wow.
cleaning house.
Hey, I bought a Dolly Parton cake mix. Have you heard of those yet?
Yes.
I bought one. I'm gonna try it.
Is it pink?
Yeah, and I'm gonna sing "Islands in the Stream" while I make it.
It's supposed to be Jolene.
Yeah, I might even break loose with some Elvis. I like Elvis pretty good too.
Nanny Pam, the CRJ design link, please.
Yeah, Nanny Pam will get it.
Mike, if you make the Dolly Parton cake, while you're singing "Islands in the Stream," you got to eat some chicken.
Some chicken.
Kenny Rogers chicken.
Yeah.
Would he be working 9 to 5 then? Is that what?
Oh no, hell no. We don't work over here. We're all unemployed. Why would you work when the government just gives it to you?
Says who? Thank you so much, AI Mod and Nanny Pam, for doing that. Okay, so that's my Facebook one.
Let's see.
Oh,
Can I share these photos? You guys want to see the
I
photos?
don't know. I don't know how to. If you can, I don't know how to do it from your end. Can you do it from your end?
I'm gonna find out.
I'm always afraid to even try to touch anything, or I'll screw everything up.
I think I have to put it in a file. Hold on.
Hold on. If someone else would make me a mod, I can post my own stupid link. There's cornbread. I'm just teasing.
You know, are you in there? I'm looking for you.
Me?
Chat something, and I'll make you a mod.
There.
I might be able to do that. I'm on my iPad, so there ain't no telling what I'm going to do to you.
AI mod. It's okay. No worries. I just said hi to you, cornbread.
I see. There you are. But it won't let me do it on my laptop.
Oh.
Okay, look, I will do it on because my cell phone's my cell phone and my computer. But for some reason, when I use my computer, I lag. I don't know why, but I can use my cell phone or my tablet, and I don't lag. I don't know if the computer takes more internet to run the live or what.
I don't know.
Jesse, we're gonna fall. We're gonna fall asleep.
Are you seeing the images on your side? Because it's saying.
No, I don't see nothing.
No.
Mm-mm. Negative Ghost Rider.
It's saying that I have images up there, but I can't share. This is present. Slides. Nope. Present. Image file. And then it pulls up the file, but it won't let me actually share them.
Okay, yeah. We'll throw it up on the next show.
Okay.
I'm tired. Y'all tired? I'm ready to go to bed.
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm ready for bed. I know I'm ready for bed.
Okay, why is it showing my Facebook instead of my YouTube? That's what my question is. But either way, finding it on Facebook and or YouTube, it'll go down tonight. I promise. So find me.
So go check out CRJ, guys, and we're going to let Harold and Christy run. I know they're as tired as we are, guys. Thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate that. It's always an honor, and we will do it again for sure.
It's always a privilege to give you a hard time.
I appreciate it. Good night, guys.
Love you, Jesse. See you later. Bye, cornbread.
Good night.
I'm tired tonight. Are you tired tonight? My back hurts too.
Well, I was tired until I saw these photos. You got to see these photos.
Well, you shouldn't be tired though. You took a nap before the show.
It was a little nap. I can't believe I found out.
Yeah, I was wondering where you was at. Jim, I appreciate that. Romans 1:16, good night. Thank you for showing up. Everybody, thank you for showing up. Silver Bullet in there moderating. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the comments after the show. Jesse can send me, I guess, the photos when we end the show. Is it the face? I'm hearing it's the face. Is it the face?
No, these are not faces. These are like full bodies.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to check that out. Guys, we'll throw them up on the next show. So don't forget, tomorrow night, guys, we got the 401 files on with us tomorrow night live. So don't miss that. It's going to be a great show. Jesse, I'm going to let you do your thing, and we're going to end this one, guys. Thank you all so much.
Well, like as always, thank you everybody for being here tonight. Make sure you keep everyone in your prayers. Specifically, again, Connie. That thank God she has finally woken up, but for complete healing. For Letitia and Barton and Lee, Lisa Ann's sister Carolyn, Qbot, Randy, Lindsay and Tony Merkel in their time of need and healing, and Emmy's sister-in-law, and I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm going to try Tanaka. Tanaka. Hopefully, I didn't mispronounce her name. But thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for each and every one of you. So, with that heartfelt thank you, we appreciate you. You are wonderful. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless, and we'll see you next time.
As always, guys, we are always blessed to have you guys with us. I really enjoy spending time with you guys. It ain't just about the live, and it's not just about the material or the videos we drop, guys. It's about spending time with you guys, being family, and supporting one another in prayer, and just having company. You know, people to talk to every night, people you know and you learn to know, and people that you learn to care about. And that's what I want this channel to be. I want us to be personable. You know, not just a number. And it means a lot to me to get to know you guys, and it's a privilege. It really is. It's heartfelt. I feel that, and the support that you've given me with Hunter and everything, it's amazing. Hunter, I love you, buddy. You'll be back soon. Won't be long. You'll be old enough to do both channels, and I can only imagine when he gets active in both channels. But just ready to have him home. Honestly, guys, when he comes home, I will be taking a break from social media, just so y'all know. I will be taking a break, and the reason being is there will be other things that will start happening, legal process, and I'm going to take a break. And doesn't mean there won't be content coming out. There'll still be content coming out. Jesse has access to drop content, so there will still be content. It's just we got a lot of making up to do. So, but as always, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Love you guys. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And until next time, above all, love your family, make memories, and God bless each and every one of you. Good night.